everybody? Welcome back to the channel, The Real Ish. Alright, for this video right here, you see the title. I'm going to be discussing some of the scariest horror movie scenes. Alright? Not horror movies, but the scenes from the movies. Alright, so I'm on slashfilm.com, and they have 37 scariest movie scenes ever. 37 scariest movie scenes ever, but I'm not going to discuss all 37. I'm going to pick a few out that I want to talk about, you know, for the video for myself. All right, so let's jump right into it.
The Real Ish.
All right, so one of the scariest scenes, I agree with them, is from Insidious. You have a demonic face that appears in Insidious. And if you haven't seen Insidious, I'm going to put a picture up right here. You will see exactly what I'm talking about. I haven't seen Insidious in a long time, but I think this scene right here, he was talking to his mom, the guy, and his real name is Patrick Wilson. And I think in this scene, he was talking to his mom, and she jumped back because she saw something behind him, the actual demon from the movie, and it was pretty creepy. It was pretty creepy. Yeah, so the guy, Patrick Wilson, his character, he's been, like, I guess, haunted with this stuff, you know, when he was kids, and now it's coming for his family. And like I said, if you haven't seen Insidious, that's basically what it is. But that is a jump scare right there. Here's one: the clown doll in the Poltergeist. It says Robbie is understandably creeped out by a clown doll in his room, and things only get scary when he looks up to find the clown is gone from the chair sitting on. He decides to look under the bed, and there's a great build-up to an expected scare as he lifts the sheets. But the scare doesn't come. There's nothing under the bed, because the clown is on the bed waiting to grab Robbie. Yeah, that's creepy. I never liked clowns, but my favorite movie is It. Yeah. Alright. Dragged across the ceiling in A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is one scary movie scene. It says Tina Grace picked up and tossed around her room by the blade-wielding child killer as her boyfriend Rod helplessly watches Tina, who is in a nightshirt and her underwear, is pulled by some unseen force onto the wall. If you've never seen this, put a picture up right here. She is like going from wall to wall and ceiling and everything, and just the whole room has blood everywhere. And of course they think the boyfriend did it, of course. But yeah, that scene was pretty gruesome. Another scary scene they say is Wanna Play Hide and Clap in The Conjuring. Without question, one of the great jump scares of the 21st century, if not all time. All time is a lot, but I will say it was a pretty good jump scare. Alright. Yep, so the mom, she hears a noise, and you know, the kids should be asleep, and until she hears a noise, and they're all tucked in or whatever like that, and picture frames are crashed on the ground. And yeah, so that scene was pretty, yeah. Alright, I think this will be like I think this is considered to be the scariest of all time, I believe. One second, I'll be right back. So The Exorcist from 1973 this scene is considered to be the scariest movie scene of all time. Like when you type it in, this is what's considered to be the scariest scene ever. Alright, so you have the infamous crucifix scene. It's still shocking today. Alright, so it says, hearing a commotion coming up from upstairs, Chris rushes up to this little girl Reagan's room to find a telekinetic storm whirling and Reagan stabbing herself with a crucifix as the entity possessing her screams all manner of blasphemies. It's horrifying on so many levels. The demonic voice is layered with Reagan's own screams of terror as she's violently assaulted by her own hand. The crucifix, which is supposed to be a weapon against evil in most movies like this, instead gleefully wielded by the demon itself. Yeah, so I say it's one of the scariest ever, if not of all time, like they said. Alright, so it says The Knife in The Invisible Man. I saw The Invisible Man. It was a pretty good movie. I liked it. For it to be something more modern, which I'm usually not into. An absolute masterpiece in examining the horror of abusive relationships. 2020's The Invisible Man shows an architect who convinced her manipulative ex-boyfriend and tech mogul Adrian has faked his own death and somehow turned himself into an invisible in order to torture her. Yeah. Yep. So it was like a scene where the knife flew across the dinner table, and that was pretty good because at this moment, the first time anyone other than Cecilia has seen Adrian, the Invisible Man, we see her sister believe her story only for the knife to seemingly fly across. Yeah, so she was telling her sister, she believed it, and I think they met out to eat, and it was just, I wasn't expecting that to happen, so that was a pretty good scene. Alright, it says the closet in Halloween, one of the most famous scenes, I guess, whatever. We all know the Halloween, it says, Laurie Strode is alone, all her friends dead, they escape mass. Maniac Michael Myers trying to kill her. She hides in the closet, but he finds her. You know, I'm not really gonna dive too much into that, but it says that scene right there. Leatherface appears in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They say, I guess his first appearance. I don't know, but I'm not really going too much into that one either. Alright, it says another scary horror scene is I saw her face in the ring. A great jump scare doesn't take much, but it says after her niece Katie's funeral, Rachel and her son go to the wake at her sister's house. It's a somber event, a place of great mourning. The mood is bleak. Both Rachel and her sister and brother-in-law are blah blah blah. Yeah, too much talking about this scene, but yeah, it's a scene out of The Ring, and she sees the face. Alright, Hereditary, a scene from Hereditary. I don't really like Hereditary, so I'm not really gonna talk about that one. Alright, I went through all of them, and that's like most of them on there. I feel like they're missing a lot that could have been in there. You know, another good one off the top of my head is Misery, where you have Kathy Bates' character, Annie Wilkes. She's like torturing this man, and when they get to the part where she like does that to his legs and breaks his legs, I think that's a really creepy scene right there that they could have put on there they forgot about. You got the shower scene from Psycho. That's really from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. That is a really nice build up from back in the day. Scary scene, I feel like, you know, could have been on there. The Shining, one of the scenes from that is when Jack hits the axe in the door and his wife is right there. That's pretty creepy too. I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. It, when Georgie's not the 2017, I'm talking about the original It, and with Tim Curry, and Georgie, you know, he's outside and he's playing and his boat goes down the drain outside the sewer or whatever, and he goes to get it, look for it, and then he walks off, and then Pennywise or a voice pops up and was like, Georgie, you know, talking to him, and it's very creepy how he was like, you want it, you know, we all float, you know, and you'll float too, and his goes back in the teeth. Like, that's really creepy for me back then. So I feel like there's a lot of things they left off this list, but you know, that was their list. That again came from slashfilm.com. So yeah, that was it for this one. If you think of any more scary movie scenes, some of the scariest, like I said, I think The Exorcist takes everything, but that's just me. Let me know, what else do you think, or what are some other scary horror movie scenes? Let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. God bless.
The Real Ish.